Hey everyone, now don't be fooled by the strong qualifying. I am going to find this race very hard going. I'm back in Le Mans Ultimate in the LMP2. It's a car I really struggle with and on a Bahrain track that I've had to learn for the very first time. Now my qualifying time of 1:51.3 is, in all honesty, a fluke lap. It's put me P3, but it's not a realistic representation of my overall race pace. Can I cling on to a podium? Well, don't get your hopes up.
Green flag.
Here we go then, the lights are green and we're underway at Bahrain. A new track for me this week and it is going to be very, very tough. Starting from P3, but realistically I'm only going to go backwards here. Having said that though, I have made a pretty decent start and I'm already alongside Jack Strumes in P2. Big crash in the rearview mirror, we've lost several cars there. Meanwhile I'm banging doors with Strumes through turns 2 and 3. It's such a tight and twisty first section here at Bahrain and I have had to raise my hands there. I mean, I got my elbows out first, but ultimately I've just backed out of that one. I've let Strumes have his second position back. I'm maintaining P3. But honestly, I don't know how long I'll be able to hold on to this position. I got really lucky with one flying lap in qualifying. It was about 1 second quicker than any other lap time I did. If I'd ended up with my expected lap time in the mid 152s, I'd have probably been starting around P8 or P9. As it is, I'm up in third position and I'm still there half a lap into this race, but there is a long, long way to go. And this corner in particular has been my problem corner. I have really struggled with it throughout practice and qualifying, but for now I'm in P3. Right, let's go back and check out a replay of the start because there was a huge wreck behind me. Yeah, it was the two drivers right behind me by the looks of it. Neil Schmidt and Jens Koch both getting taken out by Enzo Sorte, it looks like. Here's a closer view looking right back. That's Schmidt on the left, Koch on the right and Sorte behind the pair of them. Yeah, Sorte's seen a gap in the middle. He's tried to go for it, maybe outbraking himself a little bit, but it has caused catastrophe on board with Sorte. And yeah, he's just missed his braking point there. There was half a gap between the two drivers, but certainly not a big enough one to fit a third car in. Right, back to the live action, approaching the end of this opening lap. I'm still in P3, but I'm being put under all sorts of pressure now from Jaroslav Bosak in fourth position. Bosak started alongside me on the second row. His lap time is just 100th of a second slower than mine, but we already know that I haven't got the pace to match that lap time. Bosak probably has. He's going to have a look up the inside into turn 1, so I'm going to leave a bit of space here. He can have the inside line, but it's going to be difficult for him to pass because then we suddenly switch left, and yeah, sure enough, I do hold on to this third position. I suspect it might only be temporary though, because Bosak is having another look up the inside into T4. Once again, I leave him space on the inside. However, this time it wasn't deliberate. I was struggling to get the car turned in there, which has given Bosak an opportunity. We're now side by side through this S's section. And it is going to take a Herculean effort for me to hold on to this position. Now, somehow I've managed it. I've got myself back in front of Bosak, which allows me to take the defensive line into turn 8. I'm being put under real pressure here, defending with everything I've got. But I sense I might be causing a little bit of a roadblock here. I am slower than all of these guys behind. Oh, I've made a mistake locking up on the brakes into this turn 10. I said I was struggling here. That opens the door for Bosak to go through. Bosak up into third. I'm down into P4. And yeah, that was relentless pressure. All of these guys behind me are quicker. I knew I was fighting a losing battle, and there's the lockup. That's the mistake that gives Bosak fourth position. However, I knew it was coming, and it wasn't nearly as big a mistake as the one we saw right behind me in that corner. Watch Ruben Jarsveld. He's going to try and move up the inside of Xander Cornelis, and they both crash out. So that's actually given me a little bit of breathing room behind. We're back to the live action now, approaching the end of the second lap. Now behind me, Cornelis recovered from that crash, but he is nearly 3 seconds back, so I've got no pressure in the rearview mirror. I can concentrate on chasing Bosak ahead. Meanwhile, I'm switching the TV cam on because Jack Strumes in P2 is going to get it all wrong going into T1. He's nearly 7 seconds clear of us at this point, but that advantage is going to be wiped out because he's lost the rear exiting that first corner. Now, is Strumez going to get back on track in time? Well, he's lost one position. Bosak gets past. Have I got the momentum to get past him as well? I move to the inside. It is going to be a side-by-side battle on this long approach to T4. I'm going to have the inside line, but just like I did a couple of laps ago, Strumez is going to maintain that outside line. Now, it worked for me. I managed to hold on to the position, and it looks like Strumez has done it as well. I almost got confused there. I completely lost my bearings, almost missed the apex into the S's. So it was a valiant attempt to get past Strumez there, but it wasn't to be. Oh, but look at Bosak. He has lost it coming out of the right-hander. I move to the right. Strumez goes left. It looks like I may have got both positions. I mean, I wondered if the pass on Strumez was classed as being an overtake under yellow flag conditions. I'm half expecting to see an instruction to give the position back, but so far it hasn't come, so I am up into P2. Let's take another look. Jaroslav Bosak, he's just made it into second position. He's eager to try and make a break for it here, but he just tries too hard through that right-hander. The rear steps out and we both get past. But unfortunately, my spell in second position didn't last very long at all. This is the very next corner. I'm struggling for grip as I turn in. It leaves a gaping hole, and Jack Strumez says thank you very much. He's back up into P2. I'm down into P3. We're jumping forward now to lap 4. And I'm just about managing to keep up with Strumez. He's 0.8 of a second clear, but look in the rearview mirror. Xander Cornelis has closed right in. He's flashing his headlights at me, trying to distract me, trying to rattle me, trying anything he can to force his way through. He knows he's quicker than me, and he wants to try and give chase on Jack Strumez ahead. But he knows he can't do that as long as I'm in the way. Yes, I am feeling like a little bit of a roadblock here, but I'm trying my hardest to hold on to this P3. Into turn 13 then. Look how close Cornelis gets. He's getting really frustrated now. More headlight flashing. And I sense he might be getting a little bit frustrated. I'm a touch worried that he might try something a bit rash here. So if push comes to the shove, I may just surrender this position. I think I'd rather have a P4 and stay safe than try and hold on to P3. Or I don't need to worry about it now because Cornelis has binned it. Well, I'm not going to lie, I did get a certain amount of satisfaction from this one. Cornelis spent most of the previous lap flashing his headlights at me to try and distract me. He ended up crashing himself. Unfortunately for me, though, he did end up facing in the right direction, so he's able to rejoin with minimal damage, and it didn't take long for him to close that gap back in. We're returning to the live action on lap 8. 3/4 race distance now. I've spent the majority of this race in third position. However, I think I'm just going to come up a little bit short because that gap back to Cornelis is now just 0.2 of a second as we begin lap 9. Once again, I'm having to deal with relentless pressure. Once again, I'm having to deal with headlight flashing, and it looks like Cornelis is going to make a move up the inside. So I'm going to try the same tactic as before and hold it wide. I'm not able to, though. Cornelis finally takes the position. Oh, but he's lost it. Once again, Cornelis crashes out. He really doesn't want this position, does he? I really mustn't laugh, but it is so satisfying when someone flashes their headlights constantly at you to try and distract you and end up making not one but two big mistakes themselves. So it's safe to say I won't have to worry about Cornelis again this race. However, I'm not going to have it my own way. I had no choice but to lift when he span in front of me, and that has allowed Ruben Jarsveld to close right in. So now Jarsveld is within 1 second of me, and we've still got 1/4 of the race left. Am I going to be able to hold on to this third position, or is it a step too far? Oh, Jarsveld flying in! He has wiped me completely out here. Well, the odds were always against me holding on to a podium position, but I'm not even going to have the chance to fight for it now. That was an absolute catastrophe. Bosak has got past, Justin Conrad has got past, and oh no, Cornelis has got past as well. Well, that'll teach me for laughing at him, won't it? I had a proper chuckle at Cornelis when he lost it right in front of me, but I have been served some instant karma here from Ruben Jarsveld. Remind me never to laugh at someone else's misfortune again. Let's take one final look at it. Jarsveld comes flying in, he's out onto the gravel, loses control, slides right into me. Nothing I could do about that. Lap 10 now and turn 10, my nemesis corner, and I'm still struggling with it. Once again I lock up, once again I miss the apex. That gives Jarsveld the opportunity to tuck it up the inside, but I wonder if he may have just exceeded track limits there because he backs off and gives me the position back. Either he was ordered to, or he was feeling guilty about that mistake a couple of laps ago. Ultimately though, Jarsveld is quicker than me, so I've got an uphill battle here to try and hold on to this 6th position. We've only got 2 minutes left on the clock now, but I am feeling the pressure. Jarsveld breathing down my neck. Oh, and I'm all offline coming through these S's. That is going to compromise my line coming out of the turn. I will have to go defensive into this turn 8, but look at Jarsveld. He takes a wider entry. He anticipates my defensive line, and he tucks it up the inside on exit. A textbook pass there from Jarsveld. Fair play to him. I mean, I'm really struggling getting to grips with these LMP2 cars, and he has done me up like a kipper there. Cracking pass from Jarsveld. And yeah, after that I just backed off a little bit. All I wanted to do was bring it home in one piece. P7, not as good as it could have been, but not as bad as it could have been either. More than 5 seconds back to Jens Koch in 8th, so no pressure at all over those final couple of laps. But the classified results will suggest that I probably finished where I deserved to finish. My fastest lap in the race, a 1:52.3. That's exactly 1 second slower than my qualifying time, but that was no surprise at all. But yeah, look at the top 6, all lapping in the 150s or the 151s. So I think 7th place is deserved. But it's safe to say that I'm not an LMP2 specialist yet. I really struggle with this car. It's going to take a lot of practice for me to get competitive in this class. Thank you ever so much for watching, and I'll look forward to seeing you again on the grid very, very soon. Cheers for now.